When I first started out as a Baptist minister at South Ashford Baptist Church in Kent, I wore a full clerical collar. Never wore robes, but always quite smartly dressed. After 5 years at the church, I embarked on an itinerant music ministry that was in 1978. I released my first album, as I said, in 79 on the Kingsway Music label. So naturally my dress code changed dramatically. I remember with some embarrassment taking the main stage with my band at the wonderful Greenbelt Festival, dressed in hippie gear. It may have been cool at the time, but not by today's standards. Mind you, walking through Oxford city centre and observing what people wear can be a real eye-opener. Eye-popping, in fact. It seems like today anything goes. Then there was the hairstyle. I used to have long dark hair with blonde streaks, beaded rat's tails hanging down the back. A good friend, Rachel, used to do my hair, and I remember on occasion sitting at home with a plastic bag on my head through which she would pull strands of hair and using some rather toxic substance cover the strands thoroughly and turning them blonde. I'm sure she still has a picture secretly stashed away somewhere of me in this rather embarrassing state, and I'm hoping it never comes to light. Of course, in those days I'd be looking out for any fashionable gear that you could constitute as being cool for concert performances. I can't remember ever wearing a suit for anything apart from at a wedding. It was all black leather, black t-shirts, ripped jeans. You can still buy ripped jeans these days. They've never gone out of fashion. Clerical clothing is an interesting subject, and we all have our own views on what vicars should or shouldn't wear. I don't think I've ever seen a church leader or vicar in one of the HTB churches wearing clerical gear, Holy Trinity Brompton. And certainly when, together with Sarah, I was called back into pastoral church ministry in Chichester, we never wear a dog collar or any other form of clerical gear. I sometimes wore a dog collar for hospital visiting. The uniform gets you in to see people at any time of the day or night, with an ID card, of course. And for some, it brings a degree of comfort to see a proper vicar. So when I landed the job as team vicar in Quainton and Oving, there was an expectation that I would wear clerical garments. Dog collar, obviously, cassock, surplice, preaching scarf, different coloured stoles, according to the changing liturgical colours of the church year, green, red, white, purple, and a cassock alb when presiding at Holy Communion. There's a well-stocked wardrobe in my vestry at church, thank God, and in them are a number of chasubles and cassocks donated by various clergy through the years. A chasuble is an ornate sleeveless outer vestment often worn by Catholic or High Anglican priests when presiding at Holy Communion. I took the decision very early on in my ministry at Quainton and Oving that I would wear a chasuble, which would be a step too far for many of my colleagues, particularly the Evangelical Brigade. But I made this decision out of respect for my people who found this side of my priestly role helpful and engaging. Dress code is important in the particular setting into which God has called me, and gives me an opportunity to demonstrate that I'm a servant of the people and a servant of God. A chasuble is one thing, but a rock and roll concert in church, that's a whole other ball game. Find out what happened. Coming next.